I'm going to change my line color to light green and increase my line width to 0.1. Now I'm going to add a polygon, just a straight line across the screen. I'm clicking and holding, releasing, and moving and double clicking. I'm going to come to this middle point, click on that, and now I'm going to split curve. This gives us two lines now to work with. But what happens later on if I want to reconnect these? There's no button down here on the edit points. I could group these two together, but as we saw in the last tutorial, when we group two lines together, we're unable to use the edit points tools. So to make this back into one line, we need to go into Modify, Connect. And it adds a line between our two lines selected and makes them one line. Now I'm going to add another polygon line, just like we had, clicking, holding, releasing, creating another transition point, and then double clicking to complete the line. I'm going to make a copy of this line using Control C, Control V, and move this down a little bit. Now, selecting our middle line again, I'm going to select that middle point just like I did before, split the curve, moving it, showing that I'm splitting the curve, but I'm going to move it right back where I had it. Now I'm going to Modify, Connect, and it looks like we're back in one line. If I move it around, we have the one line. But if I move my center point, we see that it adds an extra line in there. And if I look down on my copy of the original line, when I move that center point up, we see this is how a single line should move up. So it added in an extra line. Even though these 2 points were right on top of each other, it still connected them with a line. To get rid of that's easy. We just click on the point that we want to remove. Now with this still selected, if I go up to Modify, just below our Connect, which is unavailable now because we have a single line, we have something called Break. If I select Break, we now go back into two lines. And you may think that's the same thing as our split curve, but it's not. It breaks it on all the points. To show this, I'll add another polygon, pressing and holding down the mouse, releasing the mouse, now going up, clicking, right, clicking, down, clicking, to the right, clicking, and to the right where I'm going to double click and complete our line. So we've got 7 transition points with 6 lines in between there. If I go up to Modify, Break, it breaks it up at all our transition points and gives us 6 independent lines. I need to click off it because it's all selected as a single right now. But clicking off there, we see 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, and 6 lines. So the break breaks it at all the transition points, and split curve only breaks the line at that one single point. Let's insert a new slide. Now I'm going to add a polygon across the top. I'm going to add an arrow up. And I'm going to add a connector on the right side. I'm going to click off this. I'm holding down Control, hitting A to select all, Modify, Connect. So what we can note here is our arrow points are missing and our connector has become a line with Bezier curves. Let's undo this. I'm going to change my arrow to be red and my connector to be blue, light blue. If I move my connector over my polygon, we see that it is over the polygon. The polygon green is in back. Then we've got the blue connector. Now we're going to move the red arrow. We see the blue connector is on top, the arrow is in the middle level, and the green is on the bottom. Let's move the arrow back and our connector back. Since it took the green's color and that was on the bottom, let's move our blue connector to the back. Arrange, send to back. So now we should see a blue line with an arrow at the end. I'm going to click off this, holding Control A to select all. I'm going up to Modify, Connect. And we see we've got the blue line with the arrow at the end. Let's undo this and try it again with the red. We select the red, right-click, Arrange, Send to Back. Now we should have a single red line that ends with an arrow. I'm clicking off the arrow, holding down Control A, Modify, Connect. It seems to have connected things differently. It looks like it added lines. But did it really? Before we had 3 lines and we added 2 to connect them. It looks like it's doing the same here. Let's try breaking this. Since all lines should now end with an arrow, we should then be able to follow the path of our connections. And we see it starts here. Then it adds this line across to connect to what was our connector from start to finish. Then from there, it adds our second line that takes us up to what was our green polygon. So it still added 2 lines, but why did it do this one differently? If I go back, the thing to note here is it connected using the bottom style. Then it connected the lines, taking the one most back and connected up. The first time, our green line was the furthest back. It connected to the left and to the right because it was able to connect one to each side of that line. The second time, we moved our blue line that was in the middle position to the back. So then the blue was in the far back, the green was in the middle, and the red was on top. So our second time, our blue line connected to the green, connected to the red, and the arrow came out on the left because that was the top. So when we moved the red to the bottom, the blue was then in the middle. So it went from our bottom to our middle, then from our middle to our top. So depending on how your lines are set up on that page, it might not connect exactly as you expect. But in general, we can look at it starting with the line furthest back and taking that style and then working its way forward, connecting them all into one single line.